My brother and I created a web platform to make a difference that I'm going to present to you all today. But before doing that, I'd like to ask you all to think about a couple of things. Try and remember a time you did something good for someone else. Try and remember a time you gave something to someone else. Try and remember a time you volunteered at a soup kitchen or donated to an orphanage. Try and remember the time you made a difference. For those of you who do remember, and I really do hope it's the majority of you, I'm sure you also remember how great it felt. Please hold on to that memory throughout my presentation. When I was 8 years old, my father took my brother and me to a UNHCR refugee camp in Iran. We distributed bright-colored sugary sweets to all the children. It felt amazing to give. We smiled, laughed, sang, and played. We were all really happy. But at the same time, I noticed a young Afghan girl. She stared at me, and I don't think I will ever forget her stare. Her hazel eyes were void of hope, desperate. Her dry lips forced themselves into a delicate smile, an attempt to show her appreciation. But it was clear she had been ravaged by the horrors of war. Her very soul seemed tormented. And I knew that if I could have captured that image and shared that moment with my family, with my friends, with you, I knew that something would change. 4 years later, on the 26th of December, 2004, my village on the eastern coast of Sri Lanka was one of the hardest hits by the deadliest tsunami in recorded history. Waves up to 30 meters high destroyed everything in their path. There was no warning system, no alarm, no siren. People simply had to run for their lives when they saw the oceans rise. As a result, the tsunami claimed over 30,000 lives in just Sri Lanka and over 300,000 in the region. Following this tragedy, a worldwide humanitarian response raised over $14 billion in aid. This was amazing. But unfortunately, because it was so difficult to communicate and share information globally, a significant percentage of those funds never reached the victims, and no one was ever held accountable. Today, almost 8 years after the tsunami, the schools and hospitals that should have been rebuilt in my village remain flat masses of gray concrete. Something has to change. When we returned to Geneva, the heart of the international community, and home to almost every international organization in the world, I became extremely active, and I took every opportunity that came my way. I tried to make a difference. I was the youngest to represent my school at the Hague International Law United Nations. I worked with the Global Fund, UNAIDS, and the WHO to organize the largest World AIDS Day ever hosted at my school. I interned at the United Nations Human Rights Council and studied International Humanitarian Law in San Remo. But I noticed something was wrong. In fact, something is terribly wrong. And it is about time that we accept the truth. The system is broken. It does not work. It is bureaucratic and slow. It is fragmented and inefficient. There are many meetings and many conferences, but there are far too few decisions and even fewer actions. The giant institutions that dominate the social sector have grown old. And in fear of change, they have built walls against progress. They have built walls that prevent the natural flow of information and cost lives. The time has come to tear down these walls. It is necessary to significantly improve the flow of information, increase transparency, and reduce inefficiency and waste. Over the last 10 years, the World Wide Web has revolutionized the way everything works and people connect. Think about it. From search, to shopping, to rating hotels, and connecting with your friends, the World Wide Web has changed the world. But has the world really changed? What does it really mean to change the world? The real issues, world peace, climate change, and poverty, remain comparatively unaddressed by the World Wide Web. While the rest of the world has embraced web technology, the social sector remains outdated and disconnected. This has to change. We have to use web technology to revive the social sector. Now let me ask you, what makes a revolution successful? Or an election fair? What makes aid effective? Or companies responsible? Information. Information inspires, motivates, and moves us. Whether it's to end an epidemic or end a war. Information is the backbone of every major decision, big or small. Information is the most powerful force of the 21st century. And today, thanks to the web and thanks to mobile technology, our generation finally has the power, the opportunity to channel all the information in the world, to communicate and organize globally. By harnessing the power of connecting information and connecting people using web technology, we can address global challenges, provide global solutions, and build a truly global society. But how are we going to achieve this? How are we going to make this dream come true? At Endignorance, a social enterprise that I created with my brother, we are in the process of building the most comprehensive, centralized, collaborative web platform, an information network that regroups and structures all the information on the web related to social and humanitarian efforts. Independent, impartial, easy to use, and accessible to everyone. With a team of over 60 content generators and a couple of web robots, we are building the largest online database that presents, rates, and ranks organizations, films, books, and photography related to the social sector. We will connect a disconnected system. We will revive a dying sector. We will unite every organization, every activist, every researcher, every student, and every citizen, including you, on a single platform. We will ensure the truth is always told and transparency is never compromised. We are developing a tool that will ensure an efficient humanitarian response after a natural disaster like the tsunami in Sri Lanka, but also a defense mechanism in the struggle against corruption, against whaling, against massive human rights violations, and even against genocide. And finally, we will connect every opportunity to make a difference, every opportunity to get involved, every job, every internship, every campaign, and every petition on a single platform. Imagine if after witnessing the human tragedy following the earthquake in Haiti or the drought in Somalia, you no longer felt you were incapable of doing something. You no longer felt you were too far away or too disconnected to make a difference. Imagine if all it took for you to get involved, to start making a difference, was a single click. A one-click gateway from information to opportunities. We believe that this and much more is possible. This is just the beginning of something great. We will build a platform to make a difference. And we hope you will join this movement and you will share this incredible experience and this amazing adventure with us. The web has transformed industries. The time to transform the social sector is now. We can connect everyone to get involved, to make a difference on a single platform. We can rebuild the very foundations of a fragmented social sector. By bridging the information gap between knowing and doing, more people will do. And in doing so, we will accelerate progress. We will increase efficiency. We will improve dialogue and ensure transparency. Together, let us restore hope in the eyes of those whose faith is lost and whose hope has faded. Together, let us harness the power of connecting people and information on the web to make a real, concrete difference. Get informed, get involved.